Today's lesson, we're going to learn how to zombify ourselves. What you will need to do is you will need to have someone take a picture of you, full body, in kind of like a zombie-like stance, eyes open, maybe mouth a little open, and preferably a solid background. Once you have your picture taken and you've gotten it to your computer, you're going to open up Photoshop, and we're going to go to File and Open. And you're going to locate your picture, and we're going to open it up. Now, it's going to look weird right now because it's not a normal pose. It's kind of an awkward pose. But for zombie purposes, this is a great pose. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of the background layer. And we want to do that just in case we mess up. We don't want to mess up the original picture. We can delete one layer and we can start again with our original picture. So we want to make sure the background layer is selected, and to make a copy of it, I'm going to use the shortcut keys, Control J. And you'll notice it did that. We now have two pictures of the same kind. And if we don't mess up, then we can remove this background picture at the very end. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the clone stamp. And I realize some of y'all don't have the ability to use the clone stamp, so you can improvise and figure out a different way to do this, like with the paintbrush tool or something to that nature. I'm going to use the clone stamp, and we're going to zoom in. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to use my mouse key. And we want to remove the eyes in our eyes. We want to make them all white. So I'm going to mark my area. And I'm going to, I might need to make this a little bit bigger. Mark my area. Basically, we're trying to make this all white. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, my eyes are done. If the color appears kind of splotchy, you can use what we call the sponge tool to blend some of it together. Let me lower that. There you go. So that kind of made mine a little bit better. All right. Next, we are now going to use the dodge tool. So I need to look for dodge. It looks kind of like a lollipop. I'm going to want to make sure that I come up here to general brushes and I use the soft round. We're going to use, okay, the dodge tool to brighten the whites of the eye. So I'm going to scroll in, and I'm just going to go over the eyes again to make them a brighter white. I have the dodge tool selected, The range is midtones, and the exposure is 25%. The more you go over it, the whiter it gets. So that is your preference as to how white you want your eyes. Okay, I think that's good for me. We are now going to use the burn tool at 25%. So I'm going to locate the burn tool, which is like a little hand. And I want to make sure up here at the top that I have my soft round brush selected. I've got midtones and my exposure is at 25%. And what we're going to do, I'm going to need to lower the size here. We're going to give dark areas around the eyes, focusing on the underside of your eyes and the inner corners. And the more you go over it, the darker it gets. So again, I've got my burn tool, soft round brush, midtones, exposure at 25%. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to start going underneath my eyes here. And I'm just going to click and I'm going to keep going until I get it to what I want. I'm going to go up around. I'm going to really focus in on the inner. Now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to even come down a little bit. All right. So I'm good with that. Okay. We're going to use a bigger brush to work on the cheeks and damage the neck. So I'm going to increase my size a little bit. And I'm going to work on burning out some of the cheek and your neck. Remember, the more you go over it, the darker it gets. I'm even going to get up here on my forehead. Can't leave the nose out. All right. Okay. And then we also want to burn the various parts of any skin that is showing. So start doing some random. And if you have like creases in your skin, you could focus on those because they will be accentuated. Okay, so I think I'm good there. Let's see. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the sponge tool. We want to make sure we're still on the soft round. We want desaturate chosen here, and we want this to be 25%. And we're going to desaturate our flesh. So that basically we're going to be removing some colors. So let me zoom in. And you don't want to remove all your color, but you can see that it will remove some of the color and make it appear kind of black and white. You want to do this to all parts of your skin. Okay, I think I'm good there. Oh wait, I didn't get down here. Get a little bit of my legs showing. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to convert our image to a smart object. So, layer 1 right over here. We're going to right click on the layer. And if you don't have a right click, you can go up to layer, and we're going to choose, oh, it isn't over there. Okay, so if you don't have a right click, you can go up to the bars right here and convert to smart object. So if you have a right click, you can right click and choose convert to smart object. Or if you don't, you can click your bars that are right here above your layers and convert to smart object. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to filter, and we're going to choose liquefy. And we have to wait a moment for this other screen to pop up. And what we're going to use is the, where is it? Oh, it's already selected. The forward warp tool to kind of drag our bottom lip downward. So I'm going to zoom in. This is kind of why we wanted your mouth a little bit open. So I'm going to click and hold, and I'm just going to kind of take my lips up and separate them out like that. Kind of give me that weird look. And then we also want to drag one of our eyes downward, and I think I'm going to take one up. So you can get a little creative with that, but you don't want to do too much because you don't want it to look too cartoonish. See, from a normal distance, I think that looks okay. So I have to come down here to the bottom and click OK. And that kind of locks it in there for you. Okay, so the next step is going to require us to import a specific brush. I provided you with 2 brushes that you can import to use in Photoshop. So my brush, I've already downloaded them from Schoology. So I'm going to click on the brush tool, and I'm going to come up here where you can choose your type of brush, and I'm going to click the settings option that's right here. There's a little settings gear. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to choose import brushes. And then you want to navigate to where you have it saved. I have them in my downloads. And the first one I'm going to import is this Crack 1 brushes. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click load. And now you'll notice I have all these new set of brushes. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the burn tool. And we want to change the exposure to 100. And we want to use one of those cracked brushes. So you can pick one and decide which one you want to choose. Oh, if that pops up, just click. It'll say the smart object must be rasterized. Hit OK, and now it's ready to go. You will probably have to size the cracks down. But then you can kind of click, and you can see as I'm clicking, it's giving these cracks on the face and arms. So you can do some different ones. Let me do that. Okay, let me get a couple over there. Okay, I'm going to try a different cracked brush. Let's see what this one is. All right. Definitely have to size it down. You don't want to do too many, but you want to do enough that they can be seen. And again, we're doing this with the burn tool so that it kind of blends in. Don't forget your neck. I don't think I can fit anything down there. And that's good. Whoop. Don't need to zoom in on that. Okay. Oh, the hand. All right, I think I have enough of those. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. So over in our layers, by the trash can, we have the little plus that will create a new layer. We're going to use the brush tool. We're going to change the brush opacity to 20%. And we want to go to our swatches panel, which is like right down here. And we want to select like a dark, cool brown color to kind of paint dirt. So let's see, I don't really know what dark cool, that looks fine. So there's a dark cool. Now I do need to make sure that if I'm going to paint dirt that I am choosing the soft round brush again for this, and that I size it down. Okay, we want to paint dirt on areas of the clothing that would possibly be dirty. So I'm going to paint on the jeans and on the shirt. You know, you can't have nice clean clothes if you're a zombie. So just kind of do some random paints. Be careful not to get your background like I just did. Control Z. Get my shoes. Okay, so I think I've painted enough stuff on there. Now we're going to do some blood spatters. I've provided you with some brushes for blood spatter as well. So with the brush tool still selected, I'm going to go up to the top here and I'm going to click the settings gear and I'm going to import brush. And I'm going to choose the 20 splatter blood brushes. And that will have loaded below these. Let me close the crack ones and here it is. Okay, so we're going to change this color, the brown color, to a dark red. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can type this in. By the R, you can type in 99. And then the G is a 0, and the B is a 0. And that will give you a good dark red color. And we're going to do blood spatters, let's see, on ourselves. So I'm going to choose, let's see, all right, that's a good one, but you definitely have to size that down. Oh, I need to change my opacity up. I'm going to put it up to 100. Give some blood spatters. You can even put some on the clothes. You can put some on the walls. All right, I'm going to change my brush, change the size, give some variety. Give some smears. Let's see. I think on some of these, I'm going to change the opacity down, make it look kind of, and you don't want to do too many on you. No, I don't like that. Okay. All right, let's see. You can also decorate more of the background if you want. That's totally up to you, but I think this is the extent of what I will be looking for to show that you can use those different tools. Now, from this point, you can go to File and export it as a PNG, or you may take a screenshot and submit that. This is a test grade, so make sure that you complete all steps and enjoy zombifying yourself.